I want some of your brown sugar. I want some of your brown sugar. I want some of your brown sugar.
Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. This is Brownsugar commentating. I'm your girl, Kayla. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe for more videos about black entertainment, black womanhood, and whatever else I feel time this week. Alright, let's get right into it. So it has been a cute minute since I have filmed for y'all, and for that I apologize. I had so much planned when it came to the month of May in content, but I went on 2 trips last month because it was my birthday month, so you know, why not? I went to Costa Rica and I also went on a cruise, and obviously time just got the best of me, and now we're damn near done with June at this point, so it's just like crazy. But of course, I am back at it again. We gonna try to get things back on track, honey. And if y'all are wondering, I will have part 2 of my Tyler Perry video up and coming soon. I will definitely get that edited sometime next week, but be on the lookout for those who are looking for that video. Okay, so today we are here to talk about our favorite topic, because why? Every time we try to leave what? Colorism holding us back. You already know where the colorism conversation is happening. I will be there and I will have things to say. And we're talking about colorism specifically in the rap industry. So this is basically a part 2 to my colorism in the rap industry video. If you haven't checked out the first video on this topic, definitely check it out, as well as a commentary about colorism in the music industry in general. So what we want to talk about specifically with colorism in the rap girlies is specifically with this conversation surrounding Ice Spice that's been going on for damn near, well, literally since Ice Spice has been really blowing up. We've had this conversation about colorism and desirability, but like I wanted to go in depth with it as it pertains to Ice Spice, specifically in the conversations about Ice Spice. So like I said, Ice Spice is a regular, degular, schmegular girl from the Bronx, okay? Much like myself and Cardi B. And she really blew up really late last year with her hit song, Munch, okay? That Munch had the girls on the TikTok, on the Clock app, really in a tizzy, and it was just a fun song, something just really silly, and like I said, something for the girls to bop to, something for the summertime, or really for the wintertime. Or did it come out in the summertime? I'm not even sure, but I know it was like winter time when the song was really popular. And ever since that song had its viral moment, Spice has been the it girl really of 2023. There really isn't much place where, there's not much time that passes where we don't see Ice Spice doing something. I mean, even when Munch really blew up, Drake flew her out within like 2 weeks of that. You know, she got called down to the Kardashian house like she was freaking Spider-Man or Ronald McDonald or something. I don't know, like, you know, like a cartoon character to go do TikToks with North. She got invited to the Met Gala earlier this year. She has a feature with Taylor Swift that she did, a feature with Pink, what's her name? Pink Panthers? Is that her name? Panthers. She had a collab with Nicki Minaj. Like, she's been on covers of magazines. She's, like I said, been this new rap it girl. And so that's just really what it's been for the past couple of months or all year. And so since this has been going on, you know, a lot of people have things to say about Ice Spice and what seems like her overnight success. And the thing is, a lot of people are saying, right, that the reason why Ice Spice has all these doors opened for her, the reason why she is so hyper visible is largely in part due to her looks, right? Because she is, I know she's like mixed, I want to say, and like mixed with like, I think she's Afro-Latina if I'm not mistaken. And pretty, she's light-skinned, she has a good shape, you know what I mean? And those are usually the grounds of, like I said, hyper visibility. And so people have called that out because Ice Spice, in terms of her rapping abilities, compared to some of the other girls, like let's say Megan, or even someone like, I guess her peer would be like a Lotto, or Flo Milli, Monaleo, all of those girls. She's not as her lyrics are not as complex as them. And as a matter of fact, she literally got a whole song where she is rapping over a bikini. She's rapping over a SpongeBob-esque type beat. Like that's how you know her raps are just not meant to be taken too serious. It's not giving like we inviting Ice Spice to do like no crazy cipher. They not invite her down to the Funk Flex, you know, to spit a couple bars. Like it's just not her vibe, which is okay. Like I said, I'm all here for the girls being mediocre. And I don't want to say mediocre as a diss, but you know what I'm saying? Like, Ice Spice's music is not revolutionary. It's not changing the landscape of female rap as we know it. You know what I mean? And that is completely okay. But the thing is, the reason why Ice Spice is okay to make less than stellar music is because of the way that she looks. And so now the conversation, you know, a lot of the people have been comparing her to the likes of a Flo Milli, the likes to a Monaleo, the likes to a Cali, and saying that all of these girls have had viral moments. Cali has had the Area Code song is still pretty popular, and her song was very big on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? And Monaleo, We Not Humping was a moment in time. And who can, like, Flo Milli has had several viral moments on that clock. She's currently having a viral moment with this Rodeo remix song that she is on. So it's just like, that's been the person that people have compared Ice Spice most to is Flo Milli. And literally anytime the light-skinned girl of the month gets popping, people bring Flo Milli up. And rightfully so, because Flo Milli is a superstar. She's been a superstar ever since I heard Dicks Up When I Step in the Party. She had my attention. I said, who is this girl? Okay, from good old Mobile, Alabama. You know, Flo Milli has all the makings of a star, right? She has the physical look. She's gorgeous, like face card never declining. She has the style. She has stage presence. She has, I mean, like the last project she did, I love the fact that all of her visuals tied into this aesthetic of early 2000s VH1, especially the reality shows. And even I think one of the videos she literally had New York, she recreated that infamous scene of Flavor of Love when New York walked off. Like, I just love when the girls really tap into a certain aesthetic and stick with it for a particular era. Like, I love that. And like I said, Flo Milli has had banger after banger after banger. And so while I do think that Flo Milli has kind of become this poster child for colorism in some ways, because like I said, when we talk about underrated, you know, dark-skinned female rappers, Flo Milli's always the number one name we bring up. And yes, I understand that a lot of people, it's not coming from a genuine place. These are some of these people who have never listened to Flo Milli a day in their lives, are not promoting the music, is not going to see her in the shows, and they're just bringing her up just to, you know, throw a dig at an Ice Spice, or even before when it was Sweetie or Coyle Ray. Like, that's just kind of what the vibe is. But it's just like, it's a valid point, because it is true. It is the truth that, yes, Flo Milli is doing pretty good right now, but she is, like I said, she's not getting invited to the Met Gala. She's not getting invited, you know, Nicki's not doing features with her. She's not getting the Taylor Swift, you know, crossover hits. She's not as hyper visible as Ice Spice has been, and she has been out significantly longer than Ice Spice. Or like I said, any of the other rap girlies who's had equally as big TikTok songs like a Cali or a Monaleo, like, we're not seeing them everywhere. And so the thing with it that I want to talk about is, one, Flo Milli has come out on Twitter, like it was like a couple of weeks ago, to say like, oh, colorism really doesn't affect me. I don't know why I always bring my name up when it comes to colorism. And, you know, like, I feel like I'm doing good and all these things. And it's like, this is not the first time something like this has happened. Like, I remember that, like, Ari Lennox had similar sentiments before. Cash Doll has had similar sentiments before. And even to go outside of rap, when we were having that conversation about Keke Palmer and Zendaya, Keke Palmer has also had similar sentiments. And the thing is, I think that when the colorism conversation comes up and people say, oh, this dark-skinned rapper or this dark-skinned person doesn't have the success as this light-skinned person, the dark-skinned person often feels like they can't come out and say, yes, colorism is the reason why I'm not where I am, because it almost makes it feel like they're not successful at all, and they don't want to say that. Or they feel like if they do come out and say, yes, I do believe that colorism has hindered whatever, then it makes it feel like you're taking a dig at the lighter skinned rapper, and you already know people are going to be quick, or the lighter skinned person, and you know that people are going to be quick to come to that lighter skinned person's defense. So I think that to avoid the draw, or them being like, oh, you're just trying to make up excuses of why your career is a flop. Like, you already know how Twitter is. So I think to avoid that blowback, that a lot of the girls do that. But even someone like Cash Doll had to come out and say years later that yes, colorism did play a part into why I wasn't as, you know, I'm not as big as I am, and why I didn't get certain features. I think a certain producer wasn't trying to work with her, something like that, because of her skin tone. So yes, that's, I'm like, you doing that is only hindering you further, right? Because no one's not saying you're not talented. What people are saying, at least those who are saying these things in good faith, they're saying that you should be way bigger than what you are, and you have to be exceptional and beat down all these doors just to be whatever. But when these other light-skinned girls, a lot of them, while obviously we know some very talented light-skinned entertainers, we also know that even they can acknowledge that the doors that were officially afforded to them, a lot of them just was based off of the fact that they were light-skinned, the fact that they were desirable. And so that's what we're getting at with this. It's like, no one's saying that Ice Spice don't deserve to have her moment. No one's saying that Ice Spice is untalented. Nobody's saying that. At least that's not what I'm saying here. As like I said, you can check a couple of videos or a while ago when I was defending Ice Spice, because her, you know, people were kind of critiquing her stage presence and things, and I was saying, you know, she just came out or whatever. Like, I want to see Ice Spice win, my fellow Bronx girly. But like I said, I can also say that a lot of the reason why Ice Spice was allowed to come on stage and have no type of professional development, the reason why she gets all of these things is because of desirability. And that if there was a dark-skinned female rapper who had a similar rapping style, similar rapping ability to an Ice Spice, she would not have anything. If Flo Milli, if Ice Spice rapped the way that Flo Milli raps, or the way that Callie raps, or any of the other darker skinned girls, she would be even bigger probably, because they are actually, you know, lyricists, you know what I'm saying? And so that's just really what we're getting at here. It's just the fact that it's just an acknowledgement that, you know, when we look at the current landscape of rap and who's really big, the darkest person right now is Megan. And Megan's not that dark at all. And you already see the way that people treat Megan anyway. So that's just another conversation for another day. But yeah. And then recently, you know, Ice Spice did an interview where they asked her about colorism, and instead of either A, saying nothing, or B, saying I acknowledge my privilege and I want to use my platform to uplift, you know, darker skinned rappers or something to that capacity, she just went on to say like, oh, that doesn't relate to me at all, and like people who we talk about colorism and me are just haters or something like that. And I was like, ooh, Ice Spice girl, no. You should have just said nothing, babes, because that was one of the worst things, like the worst responses you could have gave, because you do benefit from colorism. You do. You didn't invent the system, so like we not throwing tomatoes at you, but the thing is, you do have a privilege. Even the fact that Ice Spice could wear her hair the way she does, and while yes, people do make fun of it at times, she's like, that's her thing. People know her for having the orange curly fro. But once again, the darker skinned girlies cannot come out with their natural hair. It would be a problem. Unless it's like big, loose, curly hair, it's not going to be a thing. But to have a tightly coiled afro the way that Ice Spice does, there's privilege in that as well for her to be that be her look. Like, but like I said with Ice Spice, it's like, girl, you greatly benefit from colorism. You do. And it's not your fault. But you have to call a thing at the end of the day. Like, you can't sit here and pretend that you don't know that that's what this is. It's the same thing when Sweetie was a thing a couple of years ago. Sweetie couldn't rap worth a damn. But Sweetie was given a rap career because of the way that she looks. That's just what it is. It's the world we live in. And people need to stop being freaking obtuse about it. It's like, we as Black people can understand racism to a T. Understand when somebody's being racist all the time and whatever. But y'all don't get colorism. It doesn't make any goddamn sense. And like I said, when you see us talking about or calling out the colorism in a situation, you think that we're trying to take a dig at the particular person. And like I said, Ice Spice or Sweetie or Coi Leray or Lotto, they didn't make up the systems of oppression that we exist in. They didn't make up the music industry. They didn't make up any of it. They can't help that they are light-skinned, biracial, racially ambiguous, whatever you want to call it. But that's not their fault. But what you can do is do with the platform and with your privilege, be the one to call out when you see the colorism. Be the one to uplift the darker. Because that's like, even with Ice Spice, like, she's had Cleopatra in some of her videos. And Cleopatra's a, you know, a dark-skinned artist. So, like, see, like, that's how I'm, like I said, we're not throwing tomatoes at Ice Spice. Because it's not like, it doesn't give that Ice Spice is the colorist person, right? So we see, and she even brought Flo Milli at Summer Jam a couple of weeks ago as well. So it's like, we see that she has good intentions. She's not problematic. So like I said, I'm not saying that Ice Spice has to disappear or doesn't deserve a career. But what we're saying is the reason why Ice Spice has blown up the way she has gotten all the things that she's had, is largely in part due to the way that she looks. And that we wish that there was also a seat at the table where Ice Spice is at for a Flo Milli, for a Leo, for a Cali, for whomever. That's just what the conversation is. And it's what it's always been, because we've been talking about this. And when it's not Ice Spice, it will be somebody else, right? But yeah, so that's really largely what I wanted to talk about. Like I said, I love Ice Spice. I love, you know, her little, the cadences, the like, you know, I love the music. It's fun. It's definitely something for the girls, something for the kids. But at the same time, I could also acknowledge that a dark-skinned rapper could not have the career that Ice Spice has. And that's the problem. That Ice Spice could exist and be the star that she is. But also, Flo Milli deserves to be the star that she is. And that's not to say that Flo Milli hasn't made incredible feats so far. But I think that she should be even bigger because of the work that she's been putting in. And I know the time will come, because for the dark-skinned girls, the day always comes when people are like, damn, we deserve, this person deserves whatever. But I just think now is the time. Like, now is the time. The girl has been paying her dues. What is her moment? What is she getting invited to the Met Gala? What is she getting those things? That's all it is. Like I said, I understand that there are people who just bring up the Flo Millis and bring up the Callies and all those because they just want to be nasty and rude. But this is not what this is about. It is about something so much bigger. And it's been a problem since the beginning of time, you know? But I really wish Ice Spice didn't say that in that damn interview. Like, I just was like, girl, no. But yeah, those are all my thoughts about colorism and Ice Spice, or at least for now. We probably got to make a part 3 because God knows, you know. But yeah, y'all let me know everything what y'all think about this whole thing with Ice Spice. What you think about Flo Milli? Have you checked out Flo Milli's, you know, newest project? What do you think about Flo Milli's trajectory as a comparison to Ice Spice, or even Leo or Cali or any other dark skin people? Put me on, actually. Put me on. I want to know about the girls. I want to support. But yeah, Let me know your thoughts and opinions about this situation down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll definitely see y'all in my next video. Peace out, y'all.